So good morning to and a very warm welcome to all of you. And good evening to some of you joining from the other part of the world. So happy to see you all. Okay, I was just waiting for Vani to join in actually and start the session.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. I want you to start the session.
I don't know. I think I'm in the phase where I should listen more than speaking up.
Enough of listening now.
The thing is that I feel sometimes we know what is right, what is wrong, yet when we need to perform or we need to take action and react, the reaction is that not as per the knowledge that we have. So, that whole journey from knowing what is right and wrong to executing it is, I think, the thing. Sometimes
Yeah,
we
continue.
all so we all know kind of what is right and what is wrong for us, but yet we are not able to execute it. And I'm like so disappointed with myself that practicing all this and being a part of the group and being so aware, and yet I'm not being able to come in terms with things and to react in the way I should be reacting.
Okay, Vani has given us a very good lead to start our talk today, and I thank you, Vani, for that. Firstly, no shoulds in life. If it was meant to be that way, it would be that way. But if you struggle with yourself, and this is self-sabotage, exactly what you have described, what makes us ill in life, not just sick, because sick we can be in various ways. When we say ILL, and that is what we picked up when we say we are feeling ill, it is nothing but meaning I lack love. And now by saying that, oh, I could not do it in the right way, or I should not have responded in this way, I am withdrawing that love further from myself, isn't it? So I'm further moving into a space where I'm not honoring myself. And that is where self-sabotage comes in. And that's how the body feels even worse about itself. Now tell me, if I were to tell you, Vani, you should have reacted in this way, you shouldn't have done this, and you know everything, you're so well, you've been attending these talks, you've been working with me, you should have done this, how will it make you feel? Won't it make you feel your self-esteem will go low? You won't feel good about yourself. You'll feel like a failure. You'll feel unworthy. You'll feel guilty. Now, these are the emotions which we, in a very subtle way, are kind of imposing on ourselves. And we come to a point where actually nobody outside is telling us anything, but it is just this voice in our head which is sabotaging and making us sick. Because when we say this, when like a child who's not doing well or has made a mistake, and we tell them, you shouldn't have done this, you shouldn't have done this, this is not the way to behave, or this is not the way to answer, or whatever it might be, what is the first fear that the child gets in? Maybe a child who understands, say 6, 7, 8, what is the first kind of emotion that comes into the child? There's an emotion of as if there will be a withdrawal of love, isn't it? All that the child really wants is to be loved by the parent, or to be, cuddled by the parent. And that gives that deep sense of security to them. So the first fear that comes into them is that my parents will withdraw love from me, or a sense of rejection, or something like that. And actually, it is that withdrawal of love that leads to illness or sickness. Many a times you see that, with young children, if there's they have this separation anxiety, or if the parents suddenly decide to move away, leaving the children with the grandparents and all, there is a very high tendency that the child begins to fall sick because they feel kind of rejected. And to make it even break it down into simpler terms, it's like they feel that love will be withdrawn. And going back to yesterday's topic, last week's topic, which was a different expression of the same thing, that we try to please people now as adults, we try to please people, whether it is our children or our partners or our colleagues or our bosses. For what reason? What is it? What is the fear that we still hold? that, oh, they might not accept us, or they might withdraw love. Isn't it? That's a kind of underlying fear. My relationships are getting sour. What does that mean? That the other person has kind of withdrawn, from me, or stopped giving me the kind of love that I would ideally want to receive. But first we have to reflect, and exactly what Vani said, she like very beautifully voiced her thoughts, which go through all our minds whenever something goes wrong, or you don't live up to the standards that you have kind of created for yourself. I shouldn't have. And this is just between her and herself. It is no second person. There is no second person. And that is the fight that all of us go through with the chatter in our head, isn't it? Why did I say this? I should have kept quiet. Or why didn't I say this? I should have, responded in this way. Whatever ways, whatever you do, your mind will immediately counteract it, and you will bash yourself up in the head. That's only because our self-esteem is low, our self-confidence is low. And now I truly believe it is not about raising your self-confidence and your self-esteem. That struggle on the person, I mean, we have to totally drop it now. I don't like to guide people now to say, okay, now let's work on raising your self-confidence. I say, just take that double promotion, just take that leap and get confidence in the universe, and understand that this is the way it had to happen. There is no second choice. There is absolutely no second way that this was meant to be. Yes, if you were very disciplined, if you remembered your lessons, and at that time you answered all the things correctly, maybe you would have been in a better spot. But the fact that it did not happen that way, that means that it was not meant to happen. So the first way in which we actually withdraw love from ourselves is because we kind of set those standards. We feel, oh, I didn't perform to the level that I should have. I should have answered in this way. I should have taken those 3 breaths that I'm reminded about every Sunday. But at that moment, you couldn't. You were still doing your best, isn't it? At that moment, you were still doing your best. I believe this 100%. And then what is the next step? Okay, so this happened. Now I have 2 choices. This is where free will comes in. I have 2 choices. A, I could beat myself up. Why didn't I do this? Why didn't I respond this? Why? And I beat myself up. And that leads to not just an emotional turmoil. Of course, I'll feel horrible about myself. I'll sabotage my energy in so many ways. That's when we kind of just say, okay, I'm just going to start eating something, or I get into addictions, or, I just don't feel like moving. Depression comes in, stress comes in, because you feel that, the other person, where you could not say or do what you needed to, is also judging you and is also feeling horrible about you. And they too have totally withdrawn love from you. And that actually makes the body sick. Most of our illnesses come from this space. Most of our illnesses come from this space. And not to forget, what is the other free will? What is the other choice at that point that I can make? Okay, so this happened. Let me see how I can make the response that I wish to create my default mode. Because the default mode is to defend. The default mode is to get into fear. Oh, I feel so threatened that this happened, and immediately I respond in some way. But if I make that default mode to take the pause and do it even when I'm not in a space of panic, or I learn to meditate, or I start to, respect myself in a way that, okay, this is the best that I could do. Now let me work on myself in a way that next time when I'm in such a situation, I do not retaliate or respond in this way. Or whichever way I respond, I'm okay with it. The problem is not that your response was wrong. Maybe the other person needed to hear this. Maybe you needed to, kind of withdraw, keep quiet, retaliate, whatever you did. But the fact is, how are you feeling with your response? That is more important. Maybe you needed to scold the child. Maybe you needed to, just walk away from the situation. Maybe you needed to tell those people certain things. It's okay, but 2 things. What is the space from which you are coming and saying what you're saying? And secondly, what do you feel about your response? If you feel, okay, I'm also feeling bad, I shouldn't have said it in this way, but this needed to be conveyed, and I'm okay saying what I said, or I'm okay withdrawing my action or walking out of the meeting or not connecting to that person, if I am okay with it, it is just fine. It is really honoring what I did. But if I'm bashing myself up that I shouldn't have done this, I shouldn't have done this, then it is like, then it is not at all healthy. Just mute yourselves, please. Then it is not healthy, because then I am kind of, that reaction has been done, that action has already been taken. I cannot do anything to kind of unwind that action, except maybe go apologize, sit with the person. But that also you will do only when you are totally in control of your feelings and emotions. If you are feeling horrible about yourself and you go and tell the person I did something wrong, you will feel even more horrible, because the other person may not spare you at all. So don't go when you're feeling vulnerable. Don't speak when you're feeling vulnerable. But coming back to the main thing that we want to share here is that with all this, when we feel this fear of love being withdrawn or not being able to give ourselves, the appropriate love that we deserve, that's when the body kind of withdraws. Just as we withdraw, the cells in the body also withdraw. And that vibration of, say, guilt or fear or anxiety, despair, hopelessness, all those low vibrations, unworthiness, failure, all that your mind keeps telling you, actually does not let your body remain healthy. And some of you here, I know, who have done Reiki, particularly with me, are aware of the body mind connect. But today, I really wish to share with you, and it might be repetitive, but very important to keep in mind, this aspect of the emotions. See, going back, what are emotions? Energy in motion. Motion. The E stands for energy. So when we are disturbed, or there are these kind of thoughts, or something happens where I don't feel fully loved, because we have to understand that the base emotion that we are all striving or living for is nothing but love, isn't it? That is why even when we do the Ho'oponopono prayer, we say, I love you, because that vibration of love is the biggest healing energy. If you're unwell, you may be taking a lot of medicines and they may be kind of giving you some sort of symptomatic relief. But if you don't kind of heal it fully from inside, if you don't fully heal it from inside, that emotion, if it is not fully addressed, acknowledged, and kind of dealt with, it will resurface in the body in some way. And let's understand there is this beautiful body that we all possess with, all these lovely organs, whether it is the liver or the pancreas or the spleen or the gallbladder or the lungs, the heart, so many organs. Again, understand that these are very, very vibrational. They carry vibrations with them. Why is it that when somebody feels upset, they have a pain in their lower back, whereas another person would have a pain in their shoulder, another one might have a palpitation, or a fourth person might just have a lot of churning in their stomach? So each one of us has these, organs in our body which kind of react to a time of stress. And because at that time they do not know how to handle that emotion, that part of the body, or the vibration that matches the vibration of that body organ, starts to knock and speak to you. That is what is falling ill, nothing else. That body part is trying to tell you, okay, heal me physically, but more than physically, understand the emotion attached to that body organ, and work your way through on building on overcoming that emotion and not allowing that emotion to pull you down. So when we look at our body, the going one step further, when we talk about emotion and body organs, actually these body organs in the physical realm are performing different functions, aren't they? The legs are helping us to walk, the spine is our support system, the heart is pumping blood, it's pumping life, it's pumping prana, it's pumping joy. We are seeing with our eyes. So each organ has its particular function. And that function in a subtle way is the vibration that we are talking about. Okay, so let's look at our body, and I'm, just feel free to ask me for anything that you resonate with. Just feel free to reach out and ask me if you want to ask about anything specific. See, some of the diseases that we go through are very clear. They are very, very clear. Like I start with the heart, and I always give this understanding in my Reiki seminars that when we have a heart attack, when somebody has a sudden heart attack, what is the heart doing? Always, whichever body organ is kind of troubling you, first think of what is the function of that organ, not just in the body, that same function in a broader way. So when we say that the heart is pumping blood, it is pumping joy, it is pumping prana into your body, it is also the joy that we say, it is also spreading a lot of emotions. The heart is the center of emotions through which we express, we receive, and we give love through the heart. That is what the heart is actually associated with. So people who are very closed to expressing their true emotions and hold a lot of emotions within them, they are prone to instant heart attacks. Now, I must mention here, we cannot rule out that there could be a physical aberration or a physical deformity in some part of your body or your body organ. I'm not ruling that out. But I believe in my practice of Reiki and energy healing, that the fact that you choose that, even if it is that, yeah, you are, your one of your tailbones is fused or something is physically wrong, which you can see, there has to be something deeper than just that. Why is it that only that tailbone chose to get fused? Yes, some people say posture, this, that. No, I will still say reflect on the emotion locked in that bone, in that organ. Okay, so going back to the heart. So when we bottle up our emotions and we do not allow ourselves to fully express and give and receive love, or we feel worthy of receiving love, our heart shuts down because there is no joy in some way in our life. And a lot of times people say, but no, I express myself, I say what I need to say, and I'm okay. It's okay for me to express my emotions. You may be doing it, but it is not coming from the deepest source from where it needs to come. That expression may be bottled up from the past. And when I say past, it could be past life or childhood or anything. Understand that these emotions blocked in our body actually are blocked from a time of, say, trauma or an emotionally charged time at which we could not fully process our emotions. Yes, today I can express it, but that imprint may be coming from my childhood, where I was always told by my parents or by my siblings or my elders, you don't speak, you just shut up. Your words don't mean anything. In different ways, a lot of times we are told that, and we don't know how to express at that moment, at that time. So that imprint remains in us, and we never know, added with all these lifestyle ways in which we are living our lives, the pollution, the competition, the stress of work, they just lead to suddenly out of the blue somebody having a heart attack. So we tell those people that besides doing whatever the doctor is saying, and like I said, once the doctor has done a bypass surgery, now somebody's had a heart attack, they've had a bypass surgery. So ideally, now they are following a good diet, they're doing their yoga, they're doing their exercises, they're walking, they're eating their medicines, they're eating healthy. So ideally, they should not have a heart attack. But we forget that mental aspect, that fourth leg of the table, as we say in our healing work, that you have to really allow yourself and open yourself to expressing, and not bottle up these emotions, this joy that you actually are. When we say we block ourselves from love, it's like blocking ourselves from life, because that love is as important as the oxygen that you're breathing, and that's what the heart is pumping, isn't it? The blood which is carrying the oxygen, which is giving you life, which is giving you joy. And actually, in a study which I talk about in my program, when we face anything, a time of crisis, it is the heart that actually shuts down. And actually, the answer to that problem will also come from the heart. So very important for us to keep ourselves open. and express without really feeling judged or judging ourselves. The more transparent you become, the more open you become, you will not think, oh, what is the other person thinking? What may they, what may they be carrying against me? If you are okay with yourself, it is absolutely fine. So learn to be expressive, learn to share that joy. You may be a very joyous person within yourself, you may be very happy with yourself, but it's a need of the of the society, of the body, to express that joy, share it with others. That's how we really say we have a very, very large heart. And in fact, only yesterday in the astrology class we were being told that this starting from yesterday to 26th of December is a very powerful time where a lot that we are thinking about gets manifested. So put in a lot of energy, because this is a time where we are fully in alignment with the universe. A lot is happening. It's this Sankranti in which they say, it's a story. I mean, it may be a little off the topic, but I would love to share it. This is the time when they say that the horses of Surya Bhagwan go to drink water. So the Surya god is actually riding on donkeys. So it's a time where the sun is in its lowest thing, in a very different alignment. I'm not going deeper into it. And therefore, when you start putting your energy into whatever you wish to create, and you start bringing in that alignment, the energy starts to come in. I'm trying to just remember that term for this month that they say. And then on Sankranti next, when we have the Makar Sankranti on the 14th of January, everything auspicious kind of starts to take off, because that full force of the sun comes in. But this is the time when your efforts can give you a lot of rewards. Okay, Rima, I'm not reading your message fully, but I will go back to it and I will ask you to speak on it. Let me just complete a little bit about the body-mind connect. Because today we are really talking about how these emotions make us physically sick. And actually, we've never focused on the physical aspect. We only, on the mental or the emotional aspect, we always focus on the physical aspect. Oh, you've got a cold, you must have eaten something, you must have gone out in the cold. No, that cold is just accumulation of all the phlegm in your sinuses, is because you're feeling overwhelmed. Yes, the physical factor aggravated it and brought it out. But first, look at it. What in your life are you feeling overwhelmed with? And that is very important to kind of look at before you go into healing and taking those endless tablets to heal your cold. Reflect on that. When your eyes are paining or you're having trouble in your eyes, and when you go to the doctor, they say everything is just fine, your vision is just perfect, but your eyes are telling you something. Immediately go to the function of that body organ. What do we do with the eyes? We see. Think and reflect, what is it in my life that I don't want to see right now? Somebody going on nagging you at work or at home, you'll find some itching in your ear, pus accumulation out of the blue in your ear. Why? Because you don't want to hear this. You don't want to hear this nagging. And since you cannot step back from that person, or you cannot handle that nagging emotion that it creates within you, your ears will shut down. Your body is a perfect way to, supporting you from all these things around you. That's why the body takes it all. Then you look at bronchitis, you look at the asthma. A lot of times people who come to me who are suffering from problems in the lungs is only because they are feeling suffocated with life. And you would say, why would a 2-year, 3-year-old child feel suffocated with life? I mean, he's getting everything. We are providing them such a healthy atmosphere. Everything is fine. That's when the past, the Purva Janam, as we say, those past life imprints are carried into this life. Why is it that, that child's lungs got affected? Because the emotion or the vibration of the lungs to breathe is something which he has not been sort of allowed in the past. I remember doing an SRT, and I know I've quoted this before, but some examples I just can never forget is once that when I was doing an SRT clearing for somebody who had asthma, very acute bronchitis, I found that they had been buried in gas chambers during Hitler's time. that whole vision came. And from that lifetime, that imprint of that soul now incarnated after maybe many other lifetimes, in this lifetime was all ready to now come out and be released. So we worked on it. We really worked on it. And when you tell the person, it's okay, you don't need to stop breathing, breathe, breathe fully. It's okay to be alive. How many of us have experienced the moment there's a panic, we start feeling palpitation, our breath becomes so fast. When you're meditating, you're doing Reiki, your breath becomes absolutely silent. And when you're very happy, it's like, again, your breath is just moving so in such a joyous, happy way. And most of us are breathing so shallow. We cannot even take our breath up to our navel. We just, the breath is just stopping here. So breathe deeply. That breath is providing the prana and the life to every body organ. And actually, the breath is helping you to deal with those emotions. Feel that emotion. I always tell the people, feel that emotion in your body. What is it that you're feeling? And I'm going to make you go through just maybe a 2-minute exercise with your breath and the emotions before we end today. Then let's look at our shoulders. What is it that we do with our shoulders? What is the function of the shoulders? Always we carry burden on our shoulders, isn't it? We feel we carry stuff on our shoulders. So when we feel responsible for a lot of things that are happening to us or to our loved ones, and I feel I am responsible for this, that's when the shoulder starts to pain. And let me tell you one thing, we may be working, and doing a lot of energy healing and energy work. But like Vani said that, I don't know what happens at that time. The body is so used to taking on that stress immediately on that muscle or that body organ that it just takes it by chance. Now, it's been nearly 13, 14 years since my husband passed away. But at that time of emotionally charged situation when he passed on, that whole thing dawned upon me, because my children were young, they were studying just into college and university, that I had to take this burden. I had to take on this responsibility of being the bread earner of the house and looking after the children and looking after, the elders, that my right shoulder really started to pain at that time. And because one is not able to process it, even today, the slightest of things that happen, which I know is okay, nothing is going to happen, my right shoulder starts to feel a pain. So it's just how the body starts to get used to, that part of your body takes on the stress, and then that muscle becomes so used to it, unless we consciously work on it, that it, immediately in times of stress, it will take it upon itself. So when we feel a lot of burden that I am responsible, that's the time when your shoulders begin to pain. Then you look at your spine, you look at your entire spine. And as I always say, what I remember in childhood, when people used to be like 70 plus or something, they were aging, they were beginning to stoop. That's the time they used to have a lot of back pain. But what is happening now? Children as young as 16, 18, 20, they are coming with back pain. Okay, they will take painkillers, they will do physiotherapy, whatever. But what is causing the back pain? Then you say, okay, now the lifestyle is different. They're not exercising. They're on the computers, the laptops. Their posture is like this. Yes, everything is justified. These are the lifestyle changes that are happening all over. But there is a reason why the lower back is paining or the spine is paining. It's because a lot of us now are feeling very insecure. We are feeling a lack of support. Our entire spine is our support system, isn't it? So that is the function of the body organ. So when you see the spine, it is totally, totally supporting us, making us stand up in life. So in the same way, when we feel that, oh, I'm not supported by my parents, I'm not supported by my children, I'm not supported by my boss, that's when the back begins to pain. And previously, life was not like this. The thought of, people being unfair was not as common as it is now, and how it is voiced now. One child is given preference over the other. One sort of team member is preferred to the other. There are biases here, and people feel it. They take it on so personally now. So the spine is also divided into 3 parts. The upper back is lack of support mostly from parents. The middle back is all to do about guilt. And the lower back, which is the root chakra, is all to do with financial insecurity, material insecurity, which so many people are going through today. They have enough, but still they feel they don't have enough because it's a competitive world. Everything is out there. You can buy anything with a credit card. Life has become very, very different. And there's so much of kind of envy, jealousy, because someone's progressing, someone's not progressing, their salary is higher. There's so much that is happening out there nowadays. That financial insecurity leads to the lower back pain. So yes, somebody might come, I might give them healing, their pain will definitely disappear. But if they don't heal that core issue, which is causing the pain, that emotion which is locked in their lower back, in their lower spine, that feeling of insecurity that, I don't have enough or I'm not fully supported, you have to understand and you have to explain to that person that the support is not coming from, say, your parents or your partner or your children. You have to understand in every situation that the support is coming from the universe. And that's where you need to put all your energy in. Even if your parents are supporting you or your partner supporting you, where is he getting the support from? Where are they getting the support from? From their ancestors or their higher. And actually, it is just coming from the universe. So just go direct and build your faith and trust in the universe. Cut out all these in between people. And that trust, that support can never leave you. That's the alignment we want to bring ourselves in. And yes, if we feel that and we trust that, and yet my lower back is paining, I say it's okay. It's just a body pain. It has nothing more than that. And the moment we stop giving it that energy, it just actually dissipates from our life. Then you look at the stomach. Instantly, some news comes, our stomach gets upset, or we feel that churning in our stomach. I'm feeling nauseous. I feel like vomiting. I'm feeling, that my stomach is churning so badly. What is the function of the stomach? What is the function of the entire digestive system? To digest food. And again, going back to the example I give in Reiki, you have a light meal at 7 o'clock, you go for a little walk, you come back, you watch a little television, you go off to sleep by 10:30. And yet in the middle of the night, you get up saying, oh, I'm having a reflux, I'm having acidity. I could not digest the food that I ate. But no, sorry, you ate the food at 7, a light meal at 7, and by 10:30, that meal was totally digested. Your body did what it needed to do without you even being aware of it. So go back to reflecting and seeing what is it in your life right now that you're not able to digest. Maybe it is something that is happening with your children, something that is happening with your parents, something happening with your partner, some project you need to complete. Children used to have those butterflies in their stomach when we used to give an exam. I remember it very well with me. Instantly, like that churning in the lower abdomen. It's because of anxiety. Your body is trying to cope with that fear that you're feeling by secreting excess acid in the stomach, because it's trying to digest that emotion of fear that is coming up. And since there is no food for that acid, it will come into feeling acidic in the body. Otherwise, the acid is used up to digest the food. But since it's just a mental feeling that I'm not able to digest what is happening, or I'm not able to fully accept what is happening, it just creates that fear inside us. Going for an interview, going for an exam, we've all experienced it, haven't we? Somebody's passed on, we go there, we feel nervous, we feel anxious, you're meeting somebody new. It could be a very happy moment, but still you feel that anxiety. So your body is trying to cope with that fear, that emotion of fear, by secreting more acid. So you see what a wonderful body we have and how it is supporting us unconditionally. So I always tell people, reflect on what is it in your life that you're not able to digest. Repeatedly, you're having an upset stomach, or you're having hyperacidity or reflux. Reflect on it. Instead of going on popping in those antacids, think, what is it? What will happen? Let me just deal with this fear once and for all, and it will disappear. It will totally disappear. Nowadays, I'm kind of sending healing to a lot of students who are appearing for their, board exams and entrance exams. A lot of them have just this fear, and I tell them, what is it? What is the worst that will happen? And the moment you face it, the fear disappears. Okay, you may not get into A college, you'll get into B college. It's not the end of the world. Yes, it's very difficult for them to understand at this point, because for them, this is everything. So we understand, but I still feel we need to sow that seed in the child that it is okay. Just take life as it is coming. Only the best for you will unfold. You may get into a very high-end college, but you may not be able to cope there. So let the universe decide. Put in all your effort. Do whatever you need to. Don't leave any stone unturned, but then just sit back and trust. And that confidence in the universe, build that. Because your stomach is churning here, you're sitting in the exam, you're feeling uncomfortable, you need to run to the washroom. So just come into more acceptance. Help those children to come into more acceptance with what is, knowing that it is just perfect and they will be absolutely fine in life. And all these organs of digestion, when we have a lot of anger, it all comes out in the liver. That road rage that we come, hepatitis, is all a reflection of anger. Bitterness, what? Anger, bitterness, jealousy, these are all parts of our digestive system because we are not in acceptance of life. So when we cannot accept the sweetness of life, that's when we have diabetes. When you carry a lot of resistance and you carry a lot of resentment, it develops as cancer, as an extra growth in your body. And to make it more broader, when we just have pain, a lot of us don't understand why we have pain. You know, my body is paining today. This part is paining tomorrow. That part is paining. Pain is nothing but guilt and self-punishment. Autoimmune, nowadays we hear so much of autoimmune disorders. It's the body harming itself. Or we have allergies, or we have skin diseases. It is all related to autoimmune. It is all related to self-sabotage. So look at it, think about it, and see, okay, what is happening in my body? There is definitely a sensation. There is definitely a vibration. It could be just like a heavy head. It could be just like, rapid breathing, or a lump in my throat, a heaviness in my chest, a churning in my stomach, or suddenly like my back is feeling so stiff, or I'm feeling this, my calves are like jelly-like feeling in my calves. It's all related to blocked emotions. And coming to the lower part of our body, when we look at our legs, what do we do with our legs? We move ahead. So when we walk, when we move ahead, or we have fear of moving ahead in life, we have issues in our legs, our calf muscles pain. When children are becoming teenagers and they're entering into a new phase of teenage life, they have those growing pains. They're given the name growing pains because they're nothing but fear of growing up and moving ahead into a different phase of life. When we keep falling in some ways or twisting our ankles, it's all related to feeling imbalanced in life. We've all experienced it. Suddenly I was walking, I was in absolutely flat ground. I don't know what happened, and I twisted my ankle. When I'm feeling imbalanced in my mind, I lose the balance in my body. When we have a lot of knee pain or joint pains, which arthritis, which sets on as we are growing old, it's about inflexibility. All our joints, arthritis, neck pain is all to do with instability, inflexibility, sorry. When we are not flexible, or we're not able to adapt to what is happening, that's when we develop these pains in our joints. In fact, the cervical spondylitis, which I forgot to mention, it's all related to the throat chakra. When we have this, thyroid, this voice box here, we speak with our throat, the Vishuddhi chakra. When we are speaking from here, or we are not able to speak up for ourselves, all these blocks, words, ideas, emotions, they get blocked here, and they actually go and get stuck in the upper back, just the neck area. And that develops as cervical spondylitis, and you're told you'll have to live with it. There's no treatment. Keep taking painkillers, keep doing physiotherapy, keep doing exercises. But if you guide that person that, okay, it's okay to speak up for yourself, release all those blocked emotions from your throat through any of these healing modalities, you will see that the stiffness in your back actually disappears. The cervical spondylitis actually disappears. In our energy work, we call cervical spondylitis as suppressed tears. All those suppressed tears, and all of us may have experienced that at different times in our lives. And whatever you might say, oh, that person didn't let me speak, or the situation was such I could not speak, whatever it might be, forget about the reason. The fact is that the pain is being a burden on you. You are experiencing that pain. Free yourself of that pain. And you can surely do it. You can surely do it. You don't have to speak to that person or in that situation. You just release what you want to say. Just talk to a tree. Just sit outside, look at yourself in the mirror, speak it all out. It's not important to whom you are speaking. That is only the mind telling you. Or just visualize that person in front of you and say what you need to say. Your body needs to release it. Your ego is saying, no, release it. Say it to him, say it to her. No, you don't need to do that. Whoever needs to hear you energetically can hear you. Start believing in this beautiful, magical universe, the cosmos. There's an energy all around. Just know that that will be conveyed to the person if it needs to be conveyed. But even if it is not conveyed, free yourself of it. Just take it out. Just vomit it out. And you keep saying, I wish I could say it to him, to her. Don't waste your life thinking that and wasting, even a minute of your life carrying that burden on you. Just trust, just let it happen in the way that it's meant to happen. And move on. Free yourself of these burdens. Don't carry them. Does that make sense? I've just been going on in a monologue. Rima, does that answer your question in any which way? Okay. So when you say, Rima, that you're not able to handle those emotions, yes, I understand. With certain people, see, that's what I'm saying. In anything that you're suffering, don't bring in a personalization. That person is not judging you. You are judging yourself. Give that love that you need to yourself. Forget about the person. Move beyond just this me, I, me. Move beyond this person. And just say, I want to be happy. Now, don't wait for somebody to make you happy. Let me do something that gives me happiness. Let me go for a walk. Let me do some gardening. Let me put on some nice music. Your mind will start getting into that flow because you know that you will feel happy, and that happiness is your default mode. Don't wait for somebody to take you for a walk or, sit with you or take you out. Stop all that now. Start doing simple things to love yourself. Give yourself that love, and then let's see how the pain will disappear from your body. 100% I can tell you, but do it with sincerity. Be honest to yourself. It's only about you and yourself. There, yes, bring in yourself. So, Simi, the gallbladder is also associated with the digestive system. So a lot of times things that we are not able to fully come to terms with in life, definitely the gallbladder secretes those juices for us to accept what is happening in our life or to digest what is happening in our lives. But the fact that we have stones, it's again a growth. It's again an external kind of, a growth in the body. Not a growth really, but then the body has only formed those stones, isn't it? So just keep these things in mind. I'll read further and explain to you about stones, gallstones, kidney stones. I mean, the body is so beautiful. Every vertebra of the spine holds a particular emotion. This carpal, metacarpal, this bone holds a particular emotion. Yes, my dear Pooja. Please ask. Unmute and ask.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you, Auntie? Looking beautiful
Very,
as always.
very, very good.
Auntie, I have a question. So yeah, I do. Now I'm realizing, yes, over the years as I got, in touch with you, it is all definitely making sense. But I also developed some ailments, and I am on the path of self-caring myself. you know my journey.
Yeah.
I just want to understand, Auntie, you know, it's a silly question, but since I just need some clarity, how long does it take? Because, you know, I've developed arthritis way early in life, and I understand the reason why this has come. But I am on the journey. I am feeling much better. There's a lot of self-love that's come in place. But the pain is still there. The issue is still there. I understand it's been there for years. You know, that's why the negative energy has just got stuck. Um, I don't know. I don't know how to put it across, but I think you're getting my point that, you know, you continue to do so, and somewhere you need that confirmation. Yeah, I am doing the right thing. Maybe is that what we're looking at?
So I may disappoint you in my answer, but I'm going to be extremely truthful. Nobody can give you answer to what you're asking, Pooja. As much as it breaks my heart to say this, but the fact is, who knows the future? I may say, okay, maybe after 10 years, I would be free of this problem in my body, but I don't even know if I'm going to live for 10 years. Can I free myself of it today? And you said something so beautiful. I am definitely feeling better. I am giving myself that love. In a way, you have upgraded your quality of life, haven't you? Forget about the external upgradation. I may still be staying in my small apartment, but I'm happy with myself. I may not be earning, my bank balance may not have increased, but I'm feeling very happy with myself, with my friends, with what I'm doing. The externals will then start to, show later when nobody can answer. Anytime you're going into the future, catch yourselves. I can really tell all of you who are here, because you're so dear and you come here week after week and do so many other things, that understand. Don't try. Let's not fool ourselves by saying, "Ha, ye 4 saal mein theek ho jayega, 5 saal mein." Nobody. At least I cannot give you an answer. There could be people who give you an answer. I cannot give you an answer. So
No, my question was, sorry, Auntie, I'm
yeah.
interrupting. My question somehow is related that does that issue, let's say for arthritis, because I have given pain to myself for so many years, and I feel sorry that I have troubled and tortured myself by,
Mm.
you know, for whatever reasons that it is. But now I feel so much love for that particular part of the thing. Does that get healed? I
Absolutely.
hope it doesn't get carried on to the next
Yeah,
life,
I
or it
get your
doesn't stay.
question. I get your question. Firstly, who knows what gets carried on or doesn't get carried on? Certain things are so amorphous. So, no sense of putting in energy, but heal yourself in this life to the fullest of your abilities. That is all that you can do. Just pray, God, I can do this to the best of my ability. And yes, regarding arthritis, I would tell you that whenever you catch yourself feeling stuck on some thought, or you feel, no, I'm not going to do this, break that. Because arthritis is nothing, you're
Stubbornness.
getting stuck, isn't it? So catch yourself and then laugh at yourself and say, wow, I thought I could never do this. But when you have these simple things, like I'll tell you, last year I was like, this summer, when I was in the US, for 58 years of my life, I had never had coffee. Never had coffee, because I used to feel I'll get a migraine. Some thought from childhood, I don't even know. I don't remember. We are not very big coffee drinkers in our homes or anything. But even if I wish to, I would stop myself that no, you'll get a migraine. And in spite of that, I would get a migraine without even drinking or smelling coffee. And this summer, when I was in the US, my friend's son, who'd got a new coffee machine, he was so excited, and he would say, Auntie, I'm going to make you this coffee. See my coffee machine. This, I didn't even know the ABC of coffee. But I said, okay, how can I say no to him? And actually, I told myself, okay, come on, break this. Yeah, just get over it. Hoigi migraine, we'll see what will happen. But don't disappoint the child. And also because I wanted to break it, that energy starts to come inside you. Okay, let me try it. What will happen? You start
Yeah.
getting that confidence in the universe, in yourself, right? And then I said, okay, Shan, I'll have coffee. So he made me that. And believe me, I'm so addicted to this coffee now that I just feel, gosh, and I can say, oh gosh, I missed out 58 years of my life and I didn't have. No, it's fine. It's happened when it's meant to happen. But don't
Yeah.
stop yourself. Just say, okay, I'll taste. Okay, let me just see how it'll be. And this is like literally something more physical, which I can stop. But on the other hand, something more emotional. This person is every time telling me to do this way, but I feel no. Do it. Especially, I feel the biggest people who we can do this on is our house help. They're going to make the same mistake. You're going to tick them off on the same thing that I just told you this. I told you twice. And again, stop yourself there. Just stop yourself there. I've really started realizing this with myself. Because when I say something bad, then I know they will feel bad and they will do it even worse. Or, they'll make a face and I'll also feel bad. So it's better to stop yourself at that moment and then feel good about telling them in a more loving way if it is needed. You are also making the same mistake by going on telling them again and again. I told you this morning, I told you yesterday. They cannot remember. It's okay. Don't judge them. Tell them again. Why is your ego stopping you from saying it again? You understand? So break those rigid thoughts in your mind which make you feel that, no, I'm not going to do it. I've already instructed them. Now they should do it perfectly. And then you get a point, then your ego gets a point to tick them off. See, again, you've made the same mistake. When you know they're going to do it, you don't make that same mistake again. Just open yourself. It might sound like a very vivid example, but I really feel I talk with my experience because I know it suddenly crushes my ego. So simple things. So for arthritis, wherever you feel that you're being very strong on one point, you're not allowing yourself to break through it, see what will happen. Take that little step and see. The pain will definitely settle down. The pain will definitely subside. And also what happens is that sometimes those changes have occurred in the body. Like I tell you about my right shoulder. Now, some muscles, they always just get twitched because they're so used to pressing that nerve. Isn't it? Either you get you get steroids, blah, blah, blah. But I don't want to do all that. I know it'll pain for a bit, but then stop yourself and understand and tell yourself and meditate on the fact that the universe is looking after it. It's being taken care of. Just cut yourself out. I tell myself that so many. Who are you? Cut yourself out. The shoulder is paining. It's okay. Just give a little tender care to the shoulder. That's all that it needs. Isn't it? Maybe that physical, but your acceptance of that will be much better. And I understand your question that sometimes you feel I'm accepting it, so I'm owning it, so it becomes more. No, that does not happen. I'm owning my life. I'm not owning the pain. I still pray that the pain goes away and pray to be more flexible. Pray, like I say, pray to the universe to make you understand more and more that everything is being looked after. You're not responsible for anything. See those kind of pain bodies dissipating from your body. They're just emotional pain bodies. When we do breath work, those pain bodies surface and we clear them, isn't it? So it's just
Auntie, sorry, may I just take another minute?
Sure,
if I'm
sure.
not holding up anybody.
No, not at all, not at all.
Okay, so yeah, you're right. It's the rigidity that has come in now when I feel that maybe I'm creating my boundaries by doing so, because during my young age and my childhood, I was taken for granted for a lot of things, being not the youngest, but one of the youngest children. So bullied by the seniors and everything. So I think it had stayed with me for a very long time, which is where when things went wrong and I became so stubborn that of course, it was a lot of self-sabotage happening at that point of time. I just wanted some understanding. When I say rigidity or when I say stubbornness, which is related to arthritis, if I may understand that rightly, is that has come in now. And the reason behind was of what happened in the childhood. Now, how do you get rid of what happened in the childhood, and you're protecting yourself right now, and this is coming as an ailment?
I'm sorry, I feel no difference. I'm sorry to be saying it because I really want you to get it, Pooja. Now, what happened in the childhood is over. That imprint may be there in the body. Like I'm saying, 13 years back, my husband passed on. Now, that imprint, that pain is there in the shoulder, but I'm not living with that pain of, what happened in that time and that emotional charge. Now I have grown up. I understand that that was something that was meant to happen. You were meant to be bullied. It happened. It's over. Now you have found your voice. But that doesn't mean that you have to go back to that shouldn't have happened. That has happened. So be in acceptance that, okay, that's over. That is how my childhood was. Those imprints are there. I am aware now. You are aware now that those imprints were there. So those imprints are now, they have no position to, they're in no position to pain now. And if they are there, just lovingly deal with them. Okay, they are there. It's like a part of our body. I got hurt as a child. I have this big scar on my face. It's fine. I cannot remove the scar, but that does not mean every time I go back to that pain and don't do something which could, which hurt me at that time. You understand? So now you are aware. That is why you are saying these things. You understand, Pooja? Now you're building those healthy boundaries because you don't want to fall again in those traps. And if you're okay with it, it will not pain. If you're okay with making those boundaries, but if a part of you is still feeling that no, I mean, I'm doing this because of this, or whatever, that little victimized, I'm talking about these terms because I want it very clear that victimized or that egoic part of us is saying that no, this can't happen. I shouldn't do this. This should have happened. That is the only reason when you're not in acceptance of that, even building those healthy boundaries, or you're justifying building those healthy boundaries. You know, they did this or this happened. That's why I'm making those boundaries. Till we have an iota of that in us, it will not get healed. And I'll keep questioning myself, why isn't it getting healed? But that awareness is coming. Maybe 2 years down the line, what you're asking now, you'll say it's totally irrelevant, right? So just trust that. Just trust that part of you. And know that, okay, I'm asking this question, it is coming up now, but I know that this too will be answered. Right now, giving a physical answer may not really give you any, make any difference. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So don't struggle with knowing what to do about them. They just let the universe do what it needs to do. If they need to pain, okay, aane do, kitni pain aayegi, let it come up. Let me just breathe through that pain. And that's what I'm going to do quickly before we end, just 2 minutes to help you deal with any discomfort that you have. And we'll continue, Pooja. Please be here with your questions next week if you're having a talk, and then let's take it ahead. And also,
Sure.
before I go ahead, I'm just going to say, those of you who are in Delhi or maybe visiting Delhi, next Thursday on the 21st, I'm doing a Reiki 3 for some people. So anybody who wants to revise Reiki 3 can come here. And anybody who's done level 1 or level 2 or not done Reiki but wants to be here in the energy of Reiki and do their full body practice can please reach out to us and be here. It's like a, you know, like a honoring of this Reiki energy, Reiki work that we have been doing. Anybody and everybody is welcome. So even if you are not in town and you know somebody who wants to be connected to Reiki, just wants to come and, you know, receive Reiki, a full body Reiki, they're most welcome to come over. We'll be sending out the poster shortly, but it's an open invite. It's like we coined this term in Mumbai, Srishti, Tanvi and I. They were carrying this ORS because their mother was like a little anxious about them. So I said, this is not, you don't need that ORS. Now we are going to do open Reiki sessions. That's our ORS. So I invite all of you to please come and receive your ORS and share that ORS that all of us carry Thursday afternoon. We'll be sending out the time shortly. Okay, let's bring up, I want all of you to bring up a situation, a relationship, a thought, an issue that you're going through in your life. When you think of it, it does something in your body. You've had an argument with your partner, an argument with your child, you felt disrespected by your boss or a colleague. Suddenly there's a financial crisis. You need to pay your bills. You have to write a project. You have to give an exam. Your result is coming out. It could be anything. A physical, I even know people who get their blood tests. They're so paranoid, even looking at their reports. So anything that makes you feel that way, that thought, oh, I was not loved enough. My parents didn't love me. They loved my brother more. Whatever that thought is there, just bring in that one issue. Let's bring in, just close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath. Some of us may not have an issue, but some of us may feel, oh, I have so many issues. But just think of something for once. Just think of one thing right now. Close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath. Just fully arrive here. Just imagine that you're connected to Mother Earth, fully grounded. And bring up that difficult conversation, that examination, that argument, that discord, whatever it is that you feel uncomfortable about in your life right now. It may be very strong, it may be subtle, but yes, every time you think of it, you don't feel good. Just bring up that. And then as you're becoming more and more sensitive and present, feel what it does in your body. Just tune in totally to your body. Feel that suddenly there's this little, you're aware of the blood flowing through your calf muscles, or there's a little twitching in your calves. Your knees are suddenly feeling heavy or tight. There's a sharp pain going through your thighs. Your lower back is suddenly palpitating. You're feeling a churning in your stomach. It could be a heaviness or a knot in the chest. Your breath may suddenly become rapid. You could just feel a heaviness on your shoulders, a lump in your throat, or just a weird stress in your forehead. Whatever it is, just take your breath to that body organ. Just feel your breathing into your lower abdomen or your calf or your head and release. Just breathe and release. Just imagine, visualize that your breath is going from your nose through your body, and there's a tight knot there, and as the breath pushes through it, that knot is becoming loosened up. Know that your breath is your biggest healer, your biggest supporter. Forget about the story behind it, who did it, what did they say, when it happened. Just be with the sensation in your body. That is all that you need to connect to. Just ease the pain from your body. And relax. I feel a lot of you may be feeling a tightness in your middle to upper back. That whole patch there, just relax. Just breathe in there and relax. Just breathe in there and relax. Excellent. And you can just do it for this little, not even half a second, half a minute or 1 minute, and then go back into your normal activity. But start connecting to your breath so that next time you're in the midst of a crisis and there's an argument or a situation, rather than instantly responding or reacting, you can pause, you can take that breath, and then say what you need to. Just connect to your breath, always supporting you. Thank you so much for being here and for releasing these pain bodies. They're not just for you, you're doing it for so many others. Thank you and God bless you.